What's going on, good people? How are you all doing this morning? Let's get into some pre market talk. So, Friday we had a pretty nice disastrous pullback in the market. And if you're part of my group, part of my Discord, you know absolutely what was going to happen 24 hours before it happened. Um, we know what's going to happen next. We know what's going to happen next after that. And we know what's going to happen next after that already. We're not waiting on anybody's thoughts, any news, anything to tell us what's going on. Now, I won't explain everything that I think is going on too much because we got algorithms out here. So, uh, my thought process, what's going on? We had this big drop Friday, beautiful uh, entry to the portfolio. And then yesterday we had the gap up off of that, and now today you can see we have the gap down off of that gap up. This right here is what we would consider an island pattern, right? Here is your island, right? Where we have our gap here, and then we have a similar gap. I can't see through all of these indicators, and I'll take these indicators off in a second because I really don't use them. Um, but we'll talk about them because they are very useful. But in most cases, I don't use them um, to give me direction or anything like that. I'm not using the indicators to put together what I see. I'm using the indicators to follow what I see. But anyway, we'll get back into that later. Yeah, I believe this is going to go down from here. Does this go to retest the gap down that just happened overnight? It's a possibility that it can happen. Am I concerned with it? No. My approach to this is always the same. If I know direction, then overall that's what I'm playing for. I try to not concern myself with anything that's not in the main direction. But sometimes you get a little bit caught up in there and you want to take a trade. You can't sit on your hands, right? It's like you have to be pressing the button, and that's part of the reason, probably one, why your profits suck, because you're over trading. Your psychology sucks because you're revenge trading. Um, this is a process of sequences. If you can understand that, you can understand how to follow the money. If you're doing this and have no clue what's supposed to happen next, then you're always going to approach this with the thought that you have to wait for somebody to tell you what's going on to do it. In my mind, this is just like a big lottery, kind of, sort of. But again, I don't want to get too deep into it. I just think that it's not what we all look at this as. But anyway, I believe that this should be on the way to taking out 646, where we turned around from in the after hours. Then from 646 down to 635, from 635 back up to 646, and then from 646 breaking through 635, 620, I think it's like 628 or 624, something like that, to 618 was the next target, and then after that you get your 615 to 613, and then the market should flip there. So if we understand all of that in direction, we don't understand that in timing, right? Because that's why we don't time the market. So we can see it, we can see the market, but we can't time it. Because we can't time it, we want to play with the time to get there. And because we want to play with the time to get there, we also want to play when the market is going in the direction of whatever it may be, and then the days that it has like these bounces and all that, those are setups, and we have to look at it like setups and not look at it as that's a play that we need to take, right? Because if we knew that this was a setup, right? I knew this was the setup. I knew that this was the setup and that this was going to happen. So if I knew that, and then this bounced, because I'm not going to lie, I got into some plays within this to go up rather than to go down. But my analysis was that we would get caught up in this area right here and go down. But because we closed over this area yesterday, I changed my whole thought process. So I need to stick to my thought process, because it's just because it closed over the area doesn't mean that it was going to go up, right? If I stuck to my thought process, I would have been right. So we got to take some of these days. Not every day is a trading day. Some days are just days that set you up for the next trading day, right? And then when you really look into this, right, because I always say this too, right, we want the directional move, right? We don't want the consolidation move. We want the directional move. When you look at this whole day was consolidation, right? We want the directional move. We don't care about all of this, right? We want the directional move. We don't care about all of this, right? Even in all of these days here, right? We want the directional move. Boom. We don't really care about all this unless you're playing this on like a long term type of deal. Like, all right, it did this, and now I'm gonna play with time to this, and yeah, you can do that if you want. Like, play through the consolidation with time. You can do that, absolutely. But when you're just looking at the market, you want to wait for that time that you see, okay, boom, here's the setup. It's going to drop. You want to catch it. Where's the setup? And these setups are the best setups anywhere in the market. This one. Oh, I keep forgetting the indicators are going to come back on and all the stuff. So I'm not going to draw them. I'm just pointing them out. But, right, these are the best moves in the market. Right? these are the best moves in the market. This is where your money is. So yeah, it's good to look to go to the upside sometimes, but your real money is in this. The real money has always been in that. Catching you slipping. The steady growth money is on this. Is this, right? This is basically investor money. Like not and I'm just making it like a joke. But this type of stuff. I keep forgetting I can't do that. This area right here, this stuff right here, anytime it's consolidating, that's like investor money. And I'm just being funny, but that's like when you buy and hold things. It's just taking its time. But these days right here, all these drops, that's the end of people holding that investment for a minute, and then them just pulling the rug from under your feet. You know what I'm saying? Taking it all back. So yeah, we can get a move up here like this, and then down, or it could just stop right here and drop, keep going down. So but for the most part, it's going down. So a couple of these indicators that are in here, Down here we got uh, what's this one called? This one is power 3. So we got a power 3 indicator. Um, this is like a huge mashup indicator. It's just so much going on in here. All types of information off of this dashboard here. Uh, this one is elderly advice, and it'll be further instructions and videos about these later on. They're actually getting made now, so. And then we got this one right here. This is a pretty decent one. This tells you when the trend is basically exhausted and gives you targets and tells you to hold it and like hold your plays if you're in. If you're not, it tells you don't get in. Tells you to exit. Tells you a lot on this. But that's about it for this pre-market warm-up. Until the market opens, adios.